Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have Jan and Craig, and it's Frank Lebeouf with the most interesting background today, because it's not as usual.
The glasses.
The glasses as well.
Yeah, because I have to see you through my my phone, my cell. I don't have my computer today. It doesn't work. I don't know. They don't hear me, and so I have to rush to find a place. And that's the only role I could find, a decent role.
Did get a marriage proposal more or less off Jan tonight, though.
Frank did.
Yeah, but that's another story. All right, first question.
Can I get off this chair for a second? Is that all right?
Craig's not happy with his chair tonight.
No, the chair's fine, but you'll manage, won't you?
Will I manage?
I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
okay.
Just
God.
carry on.
This sounds ominous.
No. I hope they're there. Oh, they are. Yeah.
First question, what's he doing?
He's getting his glasses, maybe.
No, I'm not.
He's getting
I feel sympathy and empathy. So I had to go and get some tissues.
I know what's coming.
For okay, there you go.
For what?
And yeah, how can I wipe that? What way to wipe it? Can I go over here and wipe this in your eyes?
Why?
Yeah. Didn't want to play in the Premier League anyway and have people like you criticising us every week.
No, exactly.
We do have a question coming for that, so save the hanky.
Middlesbrough didn't get there. Middlesbrough.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Yeah, look at Frank laughing. He's caused us enough misery over the years.
Kay, we are charged with the following crime. We have a heart. But Craig Burley, it seems to doesn't have a heart. I mean, we should be crying. We should be crying.
Beaten. I don't know what it is. I think it is.
It's a pacemaker.
I think it is.
He can't even get happy about a dog at the Arsenal training ground.
No,
a chocolate
exactly.
Labrador as well. I mean,
I don't
that
like
says it all,
chocolate labs.
doesn't
I've
it?
got 3 dogs. I just don't like them down the training ground. You know about Middlesbrough? What happened?
Good question.
Middlesbrough.
Tailed off at the wrong part of the season, Craig, is what happened. That is coming up also in the questions I've just seen. Yes.
Yeah,
Craig and Frank, though, do you see yourself thriving in a pep team, playing out of position like Stones? How hard is it for a player to get out of their comfort zone and adapt to the new role?
I played out of position quite a few times. I actually played, before Frank was Chelsea, I played sweeper a couple of times. I played centre-half for Scotland in a World Cup qualifier in Belarus. And I wasn't particularly comfortable because I didn't want to make a mess of the offsides and all that, stepping up and stepping back. And I also played for 26 of my 46 caps for Scotland on the right side wing back. So from a central midfield to those positions, and I don't know how, you'd have to ask other people how I adapted.
But it didn't feel awful.
Centre-half felt a little different because that is a very niche position for, dropping off and picking up and organising your full-backs and, you've got a lot going on. But yeah, wing-back not so much because you can see the game.
What about you, Frank? A ball-playing centre-back, would you have liked to have taken on this role that Stones has?
Yes, I would have loved to play like Stones does. I have to say that when I was at the Academy of Toulon, I used to play number 10. I was in a competition with David Ginola. So we were competing for one spot, and I had a chance to play also with Strasbourg. Just before coming to Chelsea, I played 6 months as a number 10. I would have loved to play again like Son, like Guardiola used to play, and that's a fantastic position where you organize everything. You don't have to run too much if you're clever. What I don't like is to play on the side. I played once. I remember Gianluca Vialli put me on the right as a right back against Arsenal at Highbury. It was like I was stuck in the corridor and I couldn't play my game. And he put me out after like 25 minutes. I had a problem with my foot, but that wasn't, I think, the reason. I think the reason is I was awful and I couldn't play. I wasn't feeling well on the right side. I was stuck.
I heard an absolute classic the other day. I was listening to a podcast, and Frank, do you remember when we beat Portsmouth in the FA Cup at Portsmouth?
Yes. Yes, with Marcus scoring, yeah.
Yeah, you weren't in for crying yet, no?
Fine.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this one got me. It was David Hillier, the ex-Arsenal player who was at Portsmouth at the time, and apparently their coach said to the Portsmouth players before the game, let Lebeouf have the ball. Yeah, let Lebeouf have the ball because he can't pass it. And I nearly...
Oh, really?
Really. And I thought... I nearly doubled up because, to be fair, I don't want to blow smoke too far up Frank, but Frank was a very good passer of the ball from centre half, right? He would ping it all over the place. And we easily beat Portsmouth in the FA Cup, but they were told before the game, let Lebeouf have the ball. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And he killed him.
That goal from Marcus, that's me. We gave him the assist behind the defense, I think. And like we did against, I think it was Crystal Palace as well. And Marcus used to do that with me because he knew that I was able to give the ball at the back. Well, that might be the only thing I was able to do in football, giving long passes, and I'm glad that the coach didn't see that.
I think you call that a lack of homework.
Definitely. To have a little word with the scouts there. Definite lack of homework.
You don't need scouts, you watch the telly.
Well, that too. Okay. All right. It is the one. I've got one here. To Kay and Jan. First of all, my condolences on a Borough season wasted, losing to Coventry. Who would you like to see go up, Luton or Coventry City? Do you think either of them have what it takes to stay up next season? Merci, Kay. Okay, go on, Jan.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Borough. I definitely did. And I was also a bit selfish because I looked forward to come to Riverside to do Premier League.
That's not the question.
That is being...
Because he got VIP treatment last time, didn't he?
I will come there, and I think that the job Mark Robbins have done at Coventry, amazing. But I must say, I've played at Luton, and I can just imagine for the rest of the world loving the Premier League, and then they will see the homegrown of Luton when one long side there is only like balconies, and you will laugh, and people will laugh. What do you mean balconies? There's like they're just sitting there. I mean, that is the VIP. You will love it. It's like just over 10,000, the capacity at that ground. If you're standing outside the ground, you can actually be at the stadium without knowing you're at the stadium. You can ask someone, where is the stadium? And you don't know because you're just in the street. And so there's a bit charming about it. Back in the days when I grew up, they had AstroTurf. And that was plastic, hard plastic back in the days. So for the charm, I would like to see Luton coming up there. And it's always, for me, doing Premier League is less travelling because then I can just do it in London anyway.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to end up in Coventry, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, I'll go for Coventry.
Coventry, the late Les Seeley, the goalkeeper, is no longer with us. He wasn't that old when he died, Les, unfortunately. But he was on loan at Coventry once. And the local press asked him what the best thing about Coventry is, and he said the road out. And he got booed. He did, but he was still playing for them at the time, and he got booed. But it's not the best of places, I have to tell you.
Okay, well,
Luton would be favourites, wouldn't they? Because Luton finished third in the actual...
doesn't always work like that.
No, I know, but I'm saying that obviously if you finish third in the league, I would imagine you are the stronger side.
Right.
It was interesting, the other side of it, talking about Middlesbrough. I don't know if this has happened, and I hope it doesn't, but I'm not sure. They were talking about Tony Mowbray losing his job.
Yeah, what was that about?
Sunderland.
Yeah. Tony Mowbray only went in. I mean, this is how ridiculous this getting to the Premier League is and getting the money. Tony Mowbray went into Sunderland as manager in August. They had been the previous year in League One, so they'd only just come up. And I might have this wrong, but I think I heard somebody say they had the youngest average age in the Championship. And they narrowly failed to get to the playoff final, and they're talking about replacing them. I mean, it's just...
Yep.
I mean, sometimes the football, this world, with the decision making is just ridiculous.
As long as everyone
Everybody's
keeps their hands off
against
Michael
Borough.
Carrick.
Michael
We
Carrick.
would very much like to keep hold of him.
Well,
for
he's done a
full
great
season.
Well, where was he
Exactly.
when he took over? They were not anywhere near the playoffs, were they?
In October, we were at the bottom end. We were in trouble, and then he comes over and does that. So if he gets a full season, let's see what happens at the end of next season.
I love it, Kay. Love it, Kay.
Jan, you want them?
Sheffield Wednesday's comeback in the second leg to advance to the final was extraordinary. We're going down the leagues now.
4-0 down. wasn't it?
Unbelievable. First time it's ever happened.
And
That's
Darren
the
Moore was
turnaround.
taking
Darren Moore.
some ridiculous stick.
What's it like to be part of a team that comes back like that in a playoff or knockout round match?
Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the first time that had been done in a semi-final playoff, overturning a 4-0 deficit.
Yeah, I've not-
Guys, had any experience of a big upset that was completely improbable?
No.
I think the boys, they were only winning and I was only losing high. I never came back. But I watched the game last night. I mean, there were so many games going on last night, and you somehow could you time it, because then you can go and have a look at Sheffield Wednesday. And I felt for Peterborough as well, because they came back to 4-1. There wasn't that hope and all that kind of thing. Amazing game. But obviously that makes them, give them confidence. They know that they will use that in a playoff final. There's no going to against one of my other former football clubs, Barnsley, who today knocked out Bolton, didn't they? So that is going to be a rivalry between Barnsley and Sheffield. So amazing. And I of course will hope then that Barnsley will have more luck than Borough had.
That is a local derby,
yeah.
isn't it? Barnsley, Sheffield.
Big time.
Big time. I attended my first ever Premier League game last month, and it was absolutely amazing. What was the first game you ever attended? And by the way, this Riley the Big Golden Doodle, the Premier League match was Manchester United against Aston Villa. Do you remember your first match that you ever attended, Frank?
Attended, I don't know. As a player, is it attending when you're in the middle of the field, or is?
No, when you're a kid and you go to a game.
I've never been to a professional game. No, I've never been to a professional game. I'm sorry. When I was young, I was living in a small village, and it was far away. And no, I've never been to, except the first team of my village, Saint-Cyr-sur-Mer. But I've never been to any game when I was young.
So your first pro game was you stepping out to play?
In my what? Sorry?
Your first ever game you attended was you actually going out to play on the pitch, or were you on the bench?
The first I was on the bench and I didn't play. I was in Sochaux, very far middle of nowhere in the east of France. The best pitch in France, but a very bad stadium at the time. But it was nice to watch a little bit of the game and attend, because I was a substitute and I warmed up, but I didn't come in. I think I was with Laval. We lost the game. But that was the first game I attended to. But before, no, I never been I never been a fan. I have to say, I never supported a team, and I never been a fan. So I was happy to watch football on TV, but I didn't want to go. I don't like when it's too crowded. I get suffocated a little bit.
See, that's a man after my own heart. Don't have to be a fan. See? Come at Juniors versus Auchinleck Talbot. You're all confused now, aren't you?
That was the one.
I used to go there as a boy. It's what you would call non-league, local football. Sometimes there'd be 4,000 and 5,000 there. Lots of fights because it's rivalry and all that. But the first big game, I didn't go to many games either, like Frank. But I used to, when George Burley, my uncle, was in the Scotland team or in the Scotland squad back in the halcyon days of Jock Stein and dare I say it, Dalglish and Nicol. Stevie's a bit younger than George. Souness. I used to go with my dad to Hampden and watch like the Scotland-England games or whoever it was, and it was the old Hampden then, and I was in awe, just with the bagpipes playing in the field before and all, and I might have been like 8 or 9. So I used to go to some of them when George was in the squad, and my dad and my granddad wanted to go and watch them. But don't really remember much about the games. Remember Paul Mariner playing one of the games for England, up front for England. It used to be the old Rouse Cup, they called it, Scotland, England. So, but they were great atmospheres. But looking back as a kid, I was kind of in awe of all those players, you know. And then you grow up and you're one of them at Hampden, and it just feels normal. But it doesn't feel normal when you're a kid, does it?
No, definitely not.
And Jan said I never had a heart.
No, you're a romantic guy, Craig. You're just playing a role on TV. But,
Go ahead, Jan.
I'm playing a role.
I'm from a very small village, so I had 2 uncles and my dad in the team. It was the 6th division in Norway. You can imagine, in my region. So I was traveling to every game with them. So there were 2 things that was important for me when I was traveling with this 6th division team. First of all, I didn't want to pay on the ferry, so I had to hide at the toilet because I didn't have money to pay the ferry. So I had to fight. That is the old trick, to kind of hide in the toilet. And secondly, I didn't have the best footballers at home, so I had to steal balls. So I ended up taking a match ball a couple of times. I remember that very clearly, that I have great footballs taking home with them. And my mom asked me, where did you get them? And I said, oh, I got them. It was a present for me. So I had a great time with following that 6th division team. The first professional game I was to, my dad told me I was 4. The big team, championship team in the region, they won the game 3-1, and he said 2 of them he was in the toilet and with me, and the 3rd he was going to have to pay me or give me ice, so he didn't see any of the goals, I've been told. So that was my first game.
Very nice.
Random question, you ever been to the Faroe Islands, Jan?
No, but I guess it's very close, like my region.
You ever been to Faroe Islands?
No.
What a place that is. I don't know why I asked that.
No, I know. I thought there was going to be something within it.
No, there's not. I just wondered if you ever been
Right.
to Faroe Islands. They've got grass on the roof over there. Never gets dark. You know, didn't know that?
Never gets dark.
Don't think so.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.
Want more tissues?
See you then.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.